My hardest demon in Geometry Dash was deadlocked, but I wanted to beat some harder levels, and so I started this series where every week I'm documenting myself getting better at Geometry Dash and beating harder and harder levels, until eventually I beat a new top 1 and dethrone Zoink. Only kidding, of course. My actual goal is to beat the Extreme Demon Kinos in 1 year's time, so yeah, this is officially week 2 of the challenge, and enjoy. Now, coming into week 2, we are officially starting our very first Insane Demon, but I'm sure we'll be fine, right? I looked around for a while thinking about what my very first Insane Demon could be, and unfortunately, the demon that caught my eye was none other than Acropolis. Acropolis intrigued me as I thought the theme was pretty cool, but more importantly, the gameplay had a very different style to anything I had ever played before, focusing on slow, precise inputs rather than high-speed, flowy gameplay. And yeah, I found it pretty fun to play the level, so why not, right? What could go wrong? I started out practicing the level by, well, you know, practicing the level. I feel like I had gotten pretty good at the game already, so the gameplay didn't feel too hard, and it didn't take me that much practice to feel like I was ready to go from 0. In fact, let's guess, shall we? How much attempts do you think it took me to start going from 0? Yeah, I wasn't really aware that Acropolis was like a high-end insane demon until after I beat it. Even still, I'm really not sure how I spent so many attempts practicing it. I think it's just because that very first cube just wasn't making sense to me and took way longer than it should have to get consistent at. It wasn't all for nothing though, as by the time I finished practicing the level, I'd gotten 51 to 100 as the best run, and knew every part well enough apart from maybe the cube at the beginning, so I felt like I could beat the level pretty quickly when starting from 0. And, well, let's just see how that went. This level was probably the first level that I would say I had a slight journey with. So how I'm going to go through my journey with this level is by breaking it down into the different sessions I had while playing it and explain basically anything that important that happened within the session. My first session was 30 minutes long, and most of it was spent just trying to get better at the first cube, since it was by far the hardest part of the level. I didn't get past it many times in the first 30 minutes, but on the few instances I did, I usually died to the ball right after, only having one attempt that passed the ball. Oh fuck, what? So yeah, not the most eventful first session, but don't worry, it got better quickly, and much worse later on. The second session also lasted 30 minutes, and was a bit more eventful. Off, oh my, how am I dying? No, how am I dying there? What? What? I didn't hit the orb. Yeah, as you can see, I must have been feeling rather inquisitive that day because every death just felt like it made no sense and I was just being an idiot for dying there. But hey, I couldn't be too mad. Having the level down in 2 runs already wasn't bad progress, and I was getting more consistent at the first cube, which was what mattered most. The third and final session of day 3 was a 45-minute session in which pretty much nothing happened, so there's not really any point in going over it to be. Oh my god, I panicked so much. I panicked. No, I basically beat the level. The last 30% so free, but I panicked. For those of you that don't know, this death is extra painful because Acropolis is a level that has 95% of its difficulty in the first 70%, only having a few jumps which you should really only die to because of nerves, and an easy wave which is like easy demon difficulty. But yeah, now that I'd got there once, surely the next time I get there I wouldn't die or anything, right? Like I already have the nerves out of the way. Bro, again. Literally a minute later. No, again, what? It's because I talked as well. It's literally because I talked. I'm an idiot. Yeah, only 8 attempts later I got past 70 again, only dying this time because I spoke? I have no idea why I did this, and this wouldn't be the last time either for some reason. I really just don't learn my lesson, huh? This is something from now on I'm gonna try completely avoid, although knowing me I'll die anyway because I'm thinking too much about not speaking now. I tried playing for another 15 minutes after this, but nothing good came of it, so I just decided it was time to stop playing for the day. And yeah, that about wraps up my first day playing from 0, and although this level had annoyed me quite a bit because of that first cube and my deaths in the 70s, it at least meant I was close to beating the level. Now, I don't want to spoil too much just yet, but this day was not fun. I mean, especially after feeling like I was so close yesterday, coming into this day feeling like every time one part got consistent, another didn't, and having random deaths just felt so insanely stupid was, not fun. You know, I feel like I'm starting to understand what doggy feels like. It didn't even feel like rage at this point. It just felt more like tiredness, like I was just tired of dying to stupid stuff and was just done with the level. I'm not even sure how I could convey just how tired and annoyed I was on this day. I have about 3.5 hours of footage of me playing on this day, and there was probably at least another hour I didn't record. This was definitely the most determined I had been to beat a level so far. I just really didn't want this to drag on to the 5th day of playing. There's way too many runs I would have to go over to cover this day the same way I did with the previous day. So instead I'm just going to estimate some stats to basically show what I had to go through. During day 4 of this level, I would say I had easily 100 deaths past 20, probably like 20 deaths past 50, and to finish it off I had a death at 71 again, and a new best at... I'm such an idiot. Why? Basically, yeah, you get it. I don't know how much more I can say. Let's just cut to the... I might as well use this completion to like talk about some stuff, I guess. So yeah, I might as well do that. I think in terms of like game modes and stuff, so like I think I'm worst at the ship. I think the ship's just the hardest for me. I don't really know why. I think out of like the main three, I call the main three like wave, ship and cube, right? I think I'm probably best at like the cube, I would say. I think I played so much wave, but I'm really still not that good at it. I don't know how I'm really not that good at wave, but I mean, it's probably still my best game mode, just I played it so much, but and I think it is the most fun, but I think like I'm really just not that good at wave, and I'm okay at cube, but I'm not really that good at ship. I feel like I die at ship parts a lot more. Yeah, I don't know. Also, yeah, I don't know, this level was just hard, man. Like, I don't really think I was expecting this much of a difficulty jump between hard and insane demons, but I mean, this level, and even the easier insane demons I play end up being like quite a lot harder than the hard demons. So I don't know, maybe I've overestimated myself a little bit here. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I'm sure I could still beat extreme demons, but I don't know, maybe progress will be slower than I thought. So I don't know. I almost just died at 99. Jesus Christ! Finally. Bro, I hate this level though. Bro, literally no nerves as well. Bro, this level sucks. I literally was so close to dying at 99 though. After 4 days and just under 6,000 attempts, I had finally beat the level. Surprisingly, I wasn't nervous at all on the attempt I beat the level, but I think I only ever really get nerves when I'm fluking anyway. Final thoughts on the level? It's fun actually, I would recommend. Bruh. After struggling for the past couple of days, I wanted to give myself a level a little bit more suited to me, so I decided it was finally time for the 9 circles level. If you haven't seen my previous video, I beat a medium demon and a hard demon, which were both 9 circles levels. So I thought, well, I'll have to complete it by beating an insane demon 9 circles level as well. And what else could I beat but of course, poltergeist. This level was like really interesting. When I first practiced it, I was genuinely so confused how this was an insane demon. But then I just realized it's just really unbalanced. I just want to break down this level like a little bit more than I usually would, because this level is kind of just like weird. From like 0 to 20 and 50 to 100, there is only like one kind of hard click at 87, but apart from that it's like completely free, and even from 30 to 50, only like half of it is actually difficult. I have like a recording of me playing this part, right, and I'm basically just gonna like go over and just like show you what I mean. Like, this is basically the entire difficulty of the level. Like, this is all that you need to basically see, right? So it starts off like this gap, kind of tight right here, you know, like not too bad, whatever, but like still probably like extreme demons. And you have these clicks which are like, again, a bit difficult, like probably still like extreme demon clicks, but like whatever, they're not that bad than that, you know, that gap's not that bad. However, this is like all pretty easy actually. And you have this one like sonic wave, like actual gap, like this, look at this gap right here, this gap, and then this gap, and then this gap, and then bro, like it's actually like very sonic wave. And then you have this micro click, which again is like, actually, like, as you can see, I literally double click here because, like, well, I don't know, like, my hand's kind of shaky, and it's like, you have that saw you have to go over as well, and it's like, and then another, like, kind of tight gap here, like, you have to get, and then there's this final, like, tight gap. It's just, like, this one section, what, like, 10% of the level has most of the difficulty, just with loads of, like, tight gaps, and then you have, like, well, these clicks here, which are not that hard, I guess, but at the time I found them really hard, because, or, like, also part of the hard bit, because I'm not used to, like, this type of gameplay, but, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then, this is pretty much the difficulty of, like, most of the level. There are some other hard clicks at like 44 and 87, as I said, but yeah, this is pretty much it basically. Anyway, on day 1 all I did was just practice the drop basically, and I think I played a bit from 0 and died at 44, but I don't even have that recording, so I probably could have beat the level this day, to be honest, but I don't really feel like playing that much, so yeah, I don't know. Bruh. Yeah, there's not really much to say about this day either. Like, once I had got consistent at the drop, it was pretty much GG's. I did die once at like 87. No, I knew I would die. But apart from that, I beat it pretty quickly. Maybe like 30 minutes of playing, something like that. Okay, I think this time I'll probably talk about just like, I don't know, the future of this challenge or something. Loki, I think my first extreme demon I'm going to beat is probably going to be like 1400s, like very entry, like as easy as you can possibly get, I think. And then what I'm going to try do is, I'm not going to try jump or anything. I could just jump to like a bath difficulty level right after, but I'm going to try not do that. I think I'm going to try go up to like a 11 to 1200, so only like 200 to 300 spots, keeping it so it's like, it's still harder, but by like not that much. And then again, maybe then I'll enter like the 800s, maybe a little bit closer to Bud Blah, but like a little bit easier even. And then after that, then maybe I'll go for like a 600. So that's when we start getting like interesting. That's like a little bit harder than Bloodbath, maybe like Black Blizzard level. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like I lost it. Come on, keep going. Yes, I did it. Okay, that was actually pretty easy. Sub 2k attempts, I'm happy with that. Bruh. With the final day of the week, I knew I wouldn't have time to beat another insane demon. Like, maybe I could if I really tried, but I kind of couldn't be bothered to put in that level of dedication right now. So instead, I thought I would just practice the insane demon that I was probably going to beat the next day, if not next 2 days. And the demon I picked at first was Supersonic. Supersonic is like the most famous insane demon. I was kind of debating whether to play or not, but I was like, yeah, sure, why not? When I first started practicing, everything was going pretty well. Like, I was getting loads of runs to 100, like, at really fast rates. I was starting to think that maybe I could beat this level like pretty quickly, you know. It didn't really seem too bad at all. That was until I hit the asymmetrical duel. I mean, if you know anything about the level, you probably know that there is a really bad asymmetrical duel for about 13% of the level, like midway through. And during practice, I was able to figure it out and was able to get through the whole thing, but it really just annoyed me way too much, I'm not gonna lie. Like, annoyed me so much to the point where I genuinely just quit playing the level. Like, I could do the asymmetrical duel, but I just really didn't want to deal with that. So instead, I went onto TikTok and I searched up easy insane demons. I kind of just wanted to do something a little bit easier because, to be honest, I just wanted to get onto the extreme demons. But I still wanted to play something that was, you know, fun, or at least interesting. So I found this level called Backrooms. It seems to be pretty fun, pretty easy, and it's a long level, which I haven't played yet, so I thought might as well. The more I played the level, the more I started thinking maybe I could actually beat it in one day. None of the gameplay really felt that difficult. It wasn't really a case of trying to get consistent at the gameplay, it was more just learning it. And so once I had learned it, I started making progress really quickly. Within just an hour of playing, I managed to get 32 to 100, which may seem like a crazy run, but bear in mind, the level does end at 80, so it's more like a 45 to 100 run, or 40 to 100. Still, it was really good progress. And after around an hour of practicing, I felt like I was ready to start playing from zero. If there was any level I was going to fluke, it was going to be this one. I knew all I had to do was get to the drop, and I had a chance of fluking this level. And so, my journey from zero began. The first 32% of the level is way harder than the rest though, and so for a while, I really wasn't getting any progress. I just kept dying at the start, not being able to get to the drop. But eventually, the beginning got consistent, and after 55 minutes, I reached the drop. No, that's a bad death. Yeah, I died at 47. I wasn't too mad at it though. That's probably like the only reasonable place to die past the drop wave. And it didn't really matter anyway, because 3 minutes later, I passed the drop again and got an even better. No, I knew it. My fuck. I actually knew I would die at the last click. Bro, the last click, I knew it. Oh my god, I knew it. Fucking hell. Yeah, I died at the last click, it was pretty painful. I don't really know what else to say. This is basically the end of the video now, so I guess I'll just leave you with one final clip that kind of describes like the week and the day and just kind of everything. Oh, bro, oh my god, I actually can't do this, I actually can't do this. No, I can't, I actually can't, yeah, I actually can't do this.